We're gonna run through a series of drills today that's gonna help Nev target a more approachable handstand than a straight handstand by having a low spread out center of gravity with her shapes and using the force of resistance to propel her up versus trying to get that straight handstand, bypassing the core and using the force of momentum. Let's begin. Nev is going to begin by placing her hands in preparation for handstand, lifting one foot, which we will loop through here, and I will manage her resistance. She's going to push her foot into the strap to lift up. Her other leg is bent. She'll push her hips back and keep the bent leg knee facing towards the mat. Okay, come down with the bent leg when you're ready. So the point is that she continues to work her hips back, but keeps her shape, her lower limbs nice and low and spread out. And she's playing with that different force of resistance versus propelling. The leg's nice and low. The bent leg knee points towards the mat. Push in to rise up, hips up. Good, belly in, hips square. Good, so what you wanna watch out for when you get up is keeping the hips nice and square and stable, not letting one open, but keeping them nice and square and in line with one another. Now keep that leg bent. Don't bring it overhead. Yep, keep it tucked in. Now move the hips back. Move your hips back and push straight through your arms. Keep this bent nice and tight. Okay? The strap's gonna come through right at her hip crease. I find that bony prominent point of the front of the hips and place the strap right in that nook. When she's ready, she's going to push down to lift the hips up. See, I'm managing her hips. Now keep those legs parallel to the ground below. Good. Reach through the toes. Push through the hands. Hips back, reach through the toes. Push through the hands. And when she's ready, she can just lower her legs back down to the ground. Here's the next one. Don't try this at home. See, I'm leaving room for her to move her shoulders forward. That's gonna be essential for her to get into that pressing position at this point in her journey. Step your feet forward as much as you can, towards your hands, towards your hands. I'm gonna lift at the hip crease to assist her hips to come up, not just forward. Okay, legs out wide. Good, rise, 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 rise. Good, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the thighs. Great, now I'm really barely helping her out here. I'm hardly holding the strap. Squeeze those thighs, see, it's very loose. It's very loose. No, you got it, I won't let you fall over backwards. And you come down. How fun was that? Our last drill is in tune with using the force of resistance to rise versus propelling and kicking. This gives us more control and it actually switches gears to using your stabilizing muscles to activate the handstand versus kind of launching a Hail Mary and hoping that you find a place of balance. So to get up, she's gonna lift what usually would be her propelling leg, and I'm gonna place my hand underneath it. So now she can push into my hand to push her hips up and back. She's gotta keep that knee pointing towards the mat so she doesn't lose the foam roller. This is the center of her sandwich. We're gonna put the contents of her sandwich in between this piece of bread and this piece of bread. And we gotta squeeze these two pieces of bread together, that sandwich compression, so that she doesn't lose the contents don't fall out. All right, go ahead and lift the hips up. Push into my hand and push your hips up and back, up and back, up and back. Keep that knee pointing towards the ground, pointing towards the ground. Think about this. When you come up, tuck, quads to belly-ish, knees pointing down the ground, straddle, and then this, knees to thighs together. Okay, so think about coming up into tuck, taking it to a straddle, and then legs together, but pointing forward. Yeah? Tuck. Ooh, there you go, there you go. That's great. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, babe. Keep going. I'm like, don't even need to be here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Okay, literally, I've got one thumb in your pocket. Holy